Thank you, Deborah. Good morning.
Good morning.
And happy Thanksgiving. And I'm saying that because every day is a day of Thanksgiving.
All right.
We thank God for life, for
Yes.
breath, for the opportunity to get up and do things, make our own decisions. We got a lot to be thankful for daily, every second, every minute of every day. So happy Thanksgiving Day, I'll say. Our topic this morning is standing in solid air.
Landing.
Think about that.
Wait. Got the wrong program. Sticking the landing.
Did I give you the wrong one? I gave you what I got for you.
This, okay.
December 1st.
Sticking,
Sticking the landing.
Okay. Our monthly theme is sticking the landing.
Yeah.
Sticking the landing. And our weekly topic title is Standing on Solid Air. And that's really something to think about. Life isn't as solid as we're conditioned to believe. It is a constant flow, but we get to surf on and even direct it in our lives. That makes me think of a surfboard, how you get to direct it in the sea of all that water. Very interesting. And now let us prepare for our invocation where we magnify the presence of Spirit in the service this morning. I invite you to just simply become still and go within. Go within. And with closed eyes and open hearts, we just begin to feel that Spirit. Recognizing the Father, Mother, God, which is a living spirit that surrounds us, that supports us, that created us, that is just here for us. That living spirit, which we call God, is a spiritual action stemming from within, surrounding us from head to toe, from corner to corner, from wall to wall. It's all God, a divine movement, divine presence, a divine thought. It's God. So as we consciously identify with this movement, this spiritual action, with this living spirit, we identify with all that is, which is God. We magnify that presence this morning in the service through everyone that is attendance within the sanctuary, through the musicians, through our cameraman, to everyone that's on Zoom or on the telephone. In fact, we magnify that presence to every living entity in this universe. It's all God. It's all good. It's all a magnificent presence. So it is in this presence that moves through this service this morning, inspiring us, guiding us, making us aware, making us thankful, making us just being here in this moment. That living spirit, which we call God. So with all this divine activity that's taking place, with all this love, this peace, this joy, this instant that is taking place right here, right now, I proclaim that this morning's service is a spiritual experience, and therefore, without question, is in divine order. And if you agree with these words that I have spoken, simply affirm with me. And so it is. So I let it be. Amen. Wow. Wow. Thank you for the presence. As we move through our service this morning, our affirmation is I stand on solid thoughts to co-direct the flow of my life. Wow. Let's say that together. I stand on solid thoughts to co-direct the flow of my life. Standing on solid thoughts, those solid thoughts within, those true thoughts within, the spiritual thoughts within, directs the flow of our lives. Our monthly theme summary: after all the spins and twirls, the gymnast must land upright at the end of a gymnastic performance. At the end of this year, having explored a grand rising, we land on our feet, grounded in timeless principles. We'll use both elements, air, fire, water, earth, and light, and the flow of conscious thought, feeling, form, wisdom, spirit, to wrap up this year and prepare for the next. Today's topic: everything is created twice. First in mind, then in form. Wow. First in mind, then in form. Our thinking and our beliefs have a powerful influence on our lives. Emma Curtis Hopkins declared, there is no matter, in her second denial. While we might disagree based on today's scientific wisdom, we recognize that matter emanates from spirit. The quantum physics will tell us that things are nowhere near as solid as we perceive them. As we look at the walls, the chairs, and the things on the walls. What we call thought and form are both ultimately energy being shaped by conscious expectation and perception. Thus, we begin with the core beliefs of our science of mind teaching as the solid air thought upon which we stand. Thought upon which we stand. Suggested science of mind point of view. Since the infinite oneness is all there is, layered in the three aspects of mind, law, and form, our only work is to increase our understanding of and alignment with that oneness. It is not here to serve our ego-based needs. We are here to serve its grand flow. Let me say that again. It is not here to serve our ego-based needs. We are here to serve its grand flow. To do so, we must stand on the solidity of beliefs in alignment with the highest truth we can discern. Ernest Holmes summarized the ideas of this truth in his What I Believe statement, first published in the 1927 Science of Mind magazine issue. Everything in our lives flows from our beliefs, whether helpful or harmful. As we align our minds with the law supports the flow of that life energy into form in many ways in our individual lives. Opening the holiday season, please stand as we listen to Silver Bells. Chris? How beautiful, silver bells. And now I want you to buckle down, open up your ears, open up your hearts, as our illustrious minister brings us an inspirational message for the day. Reverend June, take it away, my dear.
Thank you, Fran. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Here, there, and everywhere. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, it's a beautiful day here. I think it's almost as cold in my house as it is outside because I lower the temperature overnight. And my son he's just started warming it up. So I think I'm as cold outside as you are, wherever you are. So good morning and blessings, everybody. It's good to be on again. We're moving closer and closer to Insight, In Touch service with you. So as we move along this morning, you'll have to excuse sometime I get a little wiggly and waggly because my my right side here takes a little adjustment. So let's get started. You have the words that I'm going to be addressing in your bulletin because this month for me is, and for many, many, many of us here at Miracle Center, is the beginning and the ending of a lot of important things. And one of the things is the purchase of Miracle Center facility. And I'm looking and thinking to do something for December that is a little bit different, that will bless us. And those of us who have been with Miracle, and some of you much, much longer than myself and Reverend Leora have been with Miracle, to look at the beginning and look at the closing of our Miracle Center expense, I will say, not our building, but our expense that we have borne for 7 years. So look forward to some different things for this month's service. So as we begin, it starts with the first foundational belief on which our whole teaching stands is we believe in God. And this year, I think the focuses have been different. And today, starting with today, I felt like I wanted to begin with the beginning and move toward the never ending aspect of science of mind, but to move into the foundation, to move into the beginning of what science of mind is for us. It is, as it says, what we believe in God, the living spirit, almighty, one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. All of those words are exactly, and more of us. That is what we are. That is what we function as. There was a line there in what Fran read, and she hesitated, and it indicated that the thought and the vision and the thought, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And it must be, sometimes we assume that we have created what we see, and it comes through our thought. It comes through the spirit, soul is the output of the spirit. And so what we begin with is actually all of these aspects. The absolute self-existent cause is what creates for us in our mind, and it is expressed to us. That is why you have to be careful, as they say, what do you wish for? Because it's created in our psyche, it's created in our mind, it's created up there in spirit. Spirit never says no. So every once in a while, we say, where did that come from? I wonder what started that. It's our self-existent cause. The name, of course, is unimportant because there are folks in this universal allness that have beautiful names for God. We tend to say Jesus, God, Allah is said by many. There are so many names for God that simplify it down to a point, which indicates there is nothing, no thing that is not God. So we won't go into that today. I'll stick to what I'm doing here today. The name, of course, is unimportant. Whatever name works for us, whatever name works for you, to convey in our minds that infinite presence is the name we should use. Infinite presence. If you are so upset about something that you cannot even bring forth a name for God, say Allah, say one, say whatever comes up in your mind. If it's a pain, say release, say pain. Whatever name you feel that you can bring up to give the message, not from the outside, but the inside to your spiritual essence. Use that word. God hears all of us, sees all of us, knows all of us. Whatever name works for us to convey our minds may change our understanding and our relationship with that oneness. Change our understanding. Open us to who God is expressing within us. The oneness shows up in the form of lots of diversity, but is always and only one. And I have a reference here for you on page 114 of the Science of Mind textbook. And it is the third paragraph on this page. We find that on the subjective or soul side of life, we find that on the subjective or soul side, man is subconsciousness. But the subconscious does not mean unconscious. So being under does not mean that it is that we are unconscious. The sub means that it is below the spirit level. Subconsciousness merely means subjective to the conscious thought. Spirit, soul, and body. So we're speaking here of spirit and soul. Compelled by reason of its subjectivity to receive what is put into it. What do we put into it? What do you think about? What do you think about? When do you think about what you're thinking about? Do you only think when it's, oh my God, what do I do now? Or is it, I am into this peace and beneficial presence, and I know it, I live it, I am it. And it's very, very simple, and it's just a part of the essence of who you are. It's not a judgment that one is better than the other. It's just, are you aware when you are at peace with what you know within your heart, within your beingness? Or are you stressful? Are you pushing to communicate to something that is already there, but we forget the awareness and the truth and the connection of our beingness with God within? It's not out there. Oneness. It's within us. It is karmic law because it is the use we are making of universal subjectivity. Universal subjectivity. Universal allness. Oneness. It never stops. Every breath, everything we see, everything we interpret, everything we think we know, because that's our mind that is telling us something. And every once in a while, we have to check in with the reality 101 that God is all there is. Perhaps there's another way of doing something. Perhaps there's another way of seeing something that is not our human thought about what truth is, but the subjectiveness of the universal subjectivity. Big words, all boils down to one. Only one thing going on in our lives as our lives. Karma means the law of cause and effect. Cause and effect. Same thing in essence. Cause and effect. Who do we think causes the effect? What is the effect that we think we cause? I remember being in school and we would get together after we got our grades. This was in the upper level, in college level. And we would get together and it was always the chatter. What did you get? What did you get? He gave me a C. That's what someone would say. I got an A, somebody else would say. Now, what is that? Did you work to the skill of an A? Did you not work to the skill of a C? Are you pleased with the C? Did you think it was supposed to be an A? Seems like the A's always get the best praise and the highest praise. And the C's are always a little dejected and tossed out. But who did the work? Same person was evaluating all the work. Just something to think about. He gave me a C. I got an A. Think about what we are doing. Soul contains the memory because it is the receptacle for the seeds of our thought, and because it, with a capital T, capital I, is the seat of memory. It contains our inherited tendencies, our inherited tendencies. I have been with religious science people, ministers, just all of us regular folks, and have gotten both sides of the question. Do we inherit anything? Are there inherited tendencies? Not going to go into yes, no, or any difference in between. What you believe about something is important, though. Do you believe that you inherited that thing that, there's another person in the family, Aunt so-and-so, and they do the same thing I do? Is that inherited? Or is it just something that both of us decided to do? Inherited tendencies. It's a good argument for sitting around with a science of mind group. It's whatever you believe, whatever you accept as your truth. And does it make a hill of beans what difference it makes? Not really. It is also let me see, where am I? It also contains the race suggestion, for we are dealing with a separated and or isolated subjective mind. But with the one subjective mind, there is a vast difference between thinking of having 3 or 4 minds and thinking of one mind which all use. I can bring things down and say them out loud, and I feel like they're really clear. But Ernest Holmes tells us very, very clearly. But with the one subjective mind, there is a vast difference between thinking of having 3 or 4 minds and thinking of one mind which all use. It's only one. There's a plethora of opinions, but there's only one. So as we read and as we reconstruct our own thinking, we focus on the oneness of God. If you're not sure about how your thinking is, whether it's accurate or not, it's accurate because there is only one thing going on here in our thinking, and that is the God belief that you have within you. You must trust what you believe. If at some point, which I have happened many, many times, what I believe, and then I'm studying, of course, through my years of studying, it's been focused on science and mind. I find that I have found out my thinking was different when I was going to a Catholic church. But that was also God. That was also one mind. So if you find that something is different or someone is different in their belief, we each are accepting and knowing of the one mind within us. So when you find out that there is something that is different that is being shown to us, do your research, do your God search. We are all on the correct path in what we believe at every single moment of our belief. The second lesson today is from Ernest Holmes, then goes on to state that this God incarnates, takes form as people, all people, that there is a nature which he calls soul within us that is eternal and forever expanding. Isn't that beautiful? That's what I'm trying to express. Don't feel that you know everything and don't feel that you don't know anything. Because, as he says here, all people, that there is a single incarnation, takes form as all people. All people, that there is a nature which he calls soul, which within us that is eternal and forever expanding, ever growing, that the kingdom of heaven is within. Sorry, I keep tapping myself here. I can't bother. Is within and available for us to experience to the degree we become aware of it. That's what I'm trying to say, that we become aware of it. You know what you know. It doesn't matter if someone doesn't understand what you know, as long as you know your truth. stand in your own power. Be the one who you are. Stand in your own power. So God is not some remote principle. Rather, it is the very life we are every single second that we're living. That's who and what we are. We like to say that God is within us, which is true, and we are also within God. We are always within this life, love, wisdom, power, peace, beauty, and joy that is the divine beingness. I'm going to come back to those aspects of our lives. The last third of these statements of belief helps us to understand how this infinite beingness expresses itself through and as us. Ernest defies some previous teachers by pointing out that all of us, through our intuition, our own intuition, what we think, what we feel, can be truth revealers by living in close contact with this divinity. Live in close contact with your own divinity, regardless of how it appears or even accepted by others. Stand in your own power. How do we do that? Through meditation and contemplation on the divine nature. He identifies the path of the flow of the creative energy. Aren't those beautiful words? It just, that Dr. Holmes was just beautiful in expressing who we are. The path of the flow of the creative energy emanating from the universal spirit. If you get low, if you get to feeling low and sad for yourself, sad that you got to wiggle around in this chair to be comfortable, sad that maybe you don't think you have enough financial supply, sad if you're thinking about anything sad, pull yourself up. Open your textbook if you have one. Call a practitioner from Miracle Center or go to any church and just chat with someone for a few minutes that is a spokesperson of God. And the first thing they will let you know is that you are perfect, you are wonderful, you are safe, so far off the beam. And if you can, through meditation and contemplation of the divine nature, think about how the definition of who we are is, as said to us by Ernest Holmes, creative energy emanating from universal spirit, emanating from. That's what's coming from you. That's what's being shown by you. I don't think that most of us, well, maybe some of us, many of us, go around and immediately when we see someone and they say, "How are you?" I don't think most of us say, "Well, you got a couple hours and let me really tell you how I feel." If you feel that way, just kind of breathe the breath back and fake it till you make it. And we say, "Oh, I'm good today. I'm fine." And we smile. And you know what? If you do it often enough, it's going to be the way you are. Because it's going to take a back seat to all that, start to see CRAP, all that junk that we happen to individualize and put up front. Why do we put up the junk first? Stand in your power. Know that you are all these magnificent words that Holmes has written in this book, that we are. My health is perfect. It's perfect. And it truly is, because I am one with God. Whatever is your thing, I mean, we all got a shtick. Whatever's your thing, before you think about the negativity of it, there really is no negativity because there is no negativity in God. But think about the joy of life before you come out with the negativity of life. Going back to the writing here, he identifies the path of the flow of the creative energy emanating from the universal spirit through a universal mind. A lot of universal there, meaning God. That's what you are, God, which is the law of God, and that we are constantly invoking, constantly surrounded by this creative mind, which is the good news, bad news. It's the good news, bad news. It's the good news of God, which knows no bad news. Somehow our humanness has managed to find something called bad news, bad feelings, bad this, bad that. It's not the truth. The truth is anything that we are seeing, anything that we are saying, anything that we are receiving through the direct impress of our thought, we act upon it. So therefore, what are you acting upon? What are we doing to ourselves? I know. It takes, well, I have to be honest, for me, it takes a little bit, I'm talking about myself here, I'm talking to you. It takes a lot for me at times to just shove all that word that I spelled out of the way and know the goodness, the ease, the grace, the health, the wealth of God. It's showing up as me. It's showing up when I look in the mirror and I go, yeah, I go, and then I say, no, let's get back to center. And in all things are God things. All things are our essence of truth. This man that wrote these words into this book so many years ago. And then if we look at an even older book, if you consider the Bible, if you consider if you read any of the ancient readings of the Greeks or the Upanishads or any of those books, you will find that they correspond with this simple book, which is Science of Mind. They correspond exactly, and they are the good side of everything that is happening in our lives as our lives. We're good, we're whole, we're healthy, we're complete. And as we move through the stuff, as we move through what we need to truly evaluate in our lives, it's so simple. And if you have time, that is given to you. I have the joy of having been given time to be still, to be very still, to be looking at some things that I have to call, oh, that's a good pain. Yeah, it's a good pain. You know what? I remember when I was in grammar school that I was told, I don't know if this is true, that there was a little boy that could not experience pain. And he did not know if the drink that he was drinking was too hot. And he did not know if it was too cold. And he could not experience pain. So if you can experience pain, it means that you're alive. It means that you can decipher. It means that you can decide what is safe for you in your life, what is right for you to do in your life, what is not right for you to do in your life. That is just one of the simple lessons I have learned since I have to be still. I have to be still in order to know that the pain is less today. Isn't that wonderful? The pain is less today. You're pulling that nerve. My son is pulling my leg in order for me to really feel that leg so that I can stop feeling that leg. You understand what I'm saying? You've got to be self-existent cause. You've got to be wisdom, power, peace, beauty, and joy, the divine beingness of your life. And tying this back to the beginning, I know it's a little clumsy in some of these spots, but looking back to the beginning of Miracle Center for Spiritual Living, and there are many who are within the sound of my voice who were there at the beginning. And I'm saying at the beginning that Fran remembers, that Jerry remembers. I'm not sure who else is on, but remembers. Leora and I are about 17 years, and that's really not very long. Laverne remembers. So we're going back to the beginning. And is the beginning not the ending? Because the ending means that we start a new beginning. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what we are doing. And this month is a celebration of that ending. We have asked for financial support all the year long, all the 7 years long. My goodness. We're at the close. We're at the apex of what we need to do in this search. We've done it in harmony and grace and ease, regardless of appearances. We've done it. So I'd like us to realize how much the oneness has shown up in our lives in the forms of, we'll say, diversity. Diversity can mean what ethnic group you are. It could mean how diverse you are financially, how diverse you are in just the essence of the way you speak, whatever you understand. But in the essence of what started as First Church of Religious Science and now is Miracle Center for Spiritual Living, we've grown in life and love and wisdom and power and peace and beauty and joy and beingness. And I was going to go through each one of these words. And if you have a textbook and you have the time, just read up exactly on what we have achieved. And we have achieved all of this simply by being unique and divine expressions of God. if we all thought the same way, if we all saw things the same way, if we all did things the same way, we wouldn't have made it. The reason we have made it is because of our diversity. We're not yes people. We're not, okay, let's all do it this way. No, we had a lot of no's. We had a lot of yeses. We've had a lot of inspirational wonderment, ideas that brought forth that were new. Some were old, some were new, some we did this over and over again, some we got new and we were successful at them, fundraisers and new people coming in. We have expanded this beautiful miracle center for spiritual living to exactly what it is today. And it brings tears to my eyes as to what we have done in order to be who we are, this wonderful, wonderful building, mortar and stones and sticks and bricks. But it's the people who have the blood and the heart and the tears and the anguish. Are we going to make it this week? Are we going to? Yes, of course we are. We're science of mind thinkers and believers. And we know who we are. And we know why we are here. We wouldn't be here listening to one another because I can hear the chatter in your heads and it feels so good. I know you're thinking, I know you're vibrating as to how you feel about what I'm saying. This is what makes Miracle Center for Spiritual Living so great. And we do work forward with grace and ease. We might go way back beyond Reverend Ruth, who's the name I remember. I have heard Fran talk about Reverend Kelsey. For myself, I have Reverend Ruth Wilkerson, Reverend Mary Louise, Leora, and I. We have all these ministers that we have been involved with, that we have listened to, that we have taken from, some things not. You don't say yes to everybody's thought. You don't say yes to everybody's idea about what to do. But we've all had avatars in our lives that have brought us to this point where I'm speaking and you're listening today. As we move into 2025, I want to have services where we speak. Maybe one Sunday we all speak to one another. And we all bring our point out together. There's different ways to do church. That's what I lay here and think about. I sit here and think about. I walk around with the pain and I think about, how do we become more than we are? We have made it this far by faith. And I know a lot of you are shaking your heads up and down and saying, yes, we have. So we're moving forward. And it's such a joy. It is such a joy to be observing and contributing at the same time, at this time, in the life of one another, because I see telephone numbers. I don't know how to get myself back larger. I'm not going to even try that. Doesn't matter to me. But I look at the telephone numbers, I look at the names, I think about those who are not here. Several of our folks need prayer for issues of health. Remember our Beverly. Remember our, let me see if she's on today. No, I don't see her name, or maybe her phone number is on. Our I'm sorry, her name is not coming up for Let me relax a minute. Carolyn, our Carolyn. If you know anyone that is not exactly perky, up to par, please bring them forward in your heart at this moment, and we remember them in prayer. Remember each other in prayer. Remember me in prayer. As we go about this life, knowing these, again, I'll state them: wisdom, power, peace, beauty, joy. That is the divine beingness of who we are. We must live in our highest essence of truth. We cannot be naysayers. We cannot doubt who we are. Because each one of these names and telephone numbers that I see and each face that I see is me. And I am you. And we have done all we have done with Miracle Center for this space of time. We have done it together. And there have many others who have gone on to experience another side of life. So we bless them also. So I'm trying to say, I love you, and I know you love me. And I want us to join in. I didn't state it very clearly, but each Sunday, the song will be a Christmas song, the first song, and I want you to stand and sing together. There's nothing like the feeling of singing together. And those of us that are on Zoom, we can sing in our homes and we'll be singing with you. So here is our last song for the day. And I hope they've taken collection. Can't let that slide by without helping ourselves. So we're going to sing this song, Chris. And I think most of you know it, and swing with it and sing with it and clap with it if you would like to. The words are going to come up in a very few minutes. So I bless you all, and I will say the treatment. I think the treatment was within the service today. So bless us all. And Chris, would you put our song on for us? And I know that each and every one of us are blessed and truly blessed. We are healed in every aspect of our lives. We are financially wonderfully is a good word for it. We are wonderfully supplied. We are supplied to all our needs in every aspect of our lives. And knowing this, I bless those who are on Zoom, bless those of us who are there in the sanctuary. And knowing that we do support one another in every way that we possibly can, and that is through our spiritual mind treatment. So remember one another as I remember you. And today we are blessed. And I give thanks for your being with us. And together we say, and so it is. So Fran, would you take us forward?
Wow, let's give Reverend June a hand. Just heart-wrenching, very heart-wrenching. Thank you, Reverend June. You are blessed. You are blessed also. We send our blessings to you. You can take your bulletins home and finish reading the blessed scriptures that are in there and what have you. And for our announcements, we're getting ready to have our mortgage burning ceremony in January. So that means that we'll have this church paid off. We're asking everyone on Zoom, family, friends, or whoever, for your financial support. We're just a bit short of our goal, but we got to January and we are going to be there and more. Yes. Amen? Amen. Amen. We're going to be there. We're going to pay this mortgage off. So I bless each one of you. Keep our sick and shut in your prayers, because there is but one life, and that life is in, through, and around them in a perfect, peaceful, and loving way. And as we prepare for our benediction, I bless each one of you and say thank you for being here. Have a blessed week. And as we benedict, giving God all the praise, honor, and glory for this day, for this moment, for this year, for life itself. God is the source of all of our good. We acknowledge it, we accept it, and we praise it and give thanks for it. And as we go forth this week, knowing that God is right where we are, in, through, and around every thought, every moment, every movement, every situation, it's all God, it's all good. And I bless each one of you this week. Accept the goodness of a God and let it flow with a heart of peace, love, and plenty of thanksgiving. God bless you. And if you're in agreement with the words that I've spoken, simply affirm with me. And so it is, so it is, so it is, giving much praise and thanks. Amen. This concludes our service, and those of you that are here in live and in living color, let's circle up and sing the peace song.